Welcome to News West 9's West Texas View with Johnny Lou Avery.
We're so glad to have you join us this morning. This is a real treat for me to give you an opportunity to get to know Safe Place, which is an organization like really no other in the Permian Basin, and it serves our whole Permian Basin area. You're going to meet Amanda Byrom, who is the PR director for Safe Place, and she's going to tell us all about the agency and who it helps and how it helps and the history. And before we start, Amanda, I'm so happy to have you here today, but I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you for having me on, Johnny Lou. Yes. We appreciate the opportunity to let people know about what Safe Place does. A little bit about me. My name is Amanda, and I am from Lubbock, Texas, and I ended up here in high school. My parents moved here for work, and I left for a little while for college. I went to Austin after I did some time at Midland College, which is a great community college.
Yes.
Love it so much. But then I went to Austin to St. Edward's University, where I studied.
Another great school.
Yes, it is a great school. I really enjoyed my time in Austin and getting to experience the music culture there and the river and creek and lake and all the water. That stuff was really fun. But so I studied journalism, actually. I studied media communication and ended up in public relations. I moved back to Midland for the job opportunities here and family. Started out at the hospital, working in their public relations and marketing department. And then I had my second child, and I thought, you know, I'd like to work more part-time and do something a little closer to my heart. So I ended up working in the nonprofit sector with Safe Place. So I've been there for about 2 years now.
And Safe Place meets real special needs. And when you're talking about following your heart, this is really an opportunity to let your passions come through. I want you to talk a little bit about the history. What is Safe Place, and how did it get started here?
Sure. Well, Safe Place was actually started in 1978 by a group of concerned citizens that saw that there was an issue of domestic violence in the community, but there was no service to address that issue and help to eradicate it.
There was no safe place.
There was no safe place. And at that time, a lot of people still didn't talk about the issues of family violence.
It had a real stigma.
It did, and it still does in some ways today. That's a constant struggle that we're trying to overcome, is to get people to talk about it, just to you know, bring it out in the open and awareness, and not be ashamed of it, because there's people there to help. We're there to help.
And you're talking about a group of people, and that's what we're famous for out here in West Texas. When we see a need, we fill it.
Yes,
and so you have that history then with this agency, that the people who started it really knew what they were doing, and probably patterned it after some of the more successful established places in the area, because we've got now a project like this in almost all of the large communities. But when you say you're of the Permian Basin, that means that you're reaching out to those people that are abused or battered in all areas of the Permian Basin, even though your office is here in Midland.
That is correct. We actually serve 15 counties in the Permian Basin area. Our two largest groups are obviously from Midland and Odessa. We do have an office in Odessa for counseling and advocacy, and then we have our shelter and counseling offices as well here in Midland. But we serve Andrews, Big Spring. We serve a big area around the Midland-Odessa area. And if somebody calls, anybody can call our hotline. We actually have a 1-800 number as well. And if somebody calls us from outside of our service area, we will refer them to the closest person or agency.
Let's talk about the purpose. Obviously, is to bring people into a safe place. But talk about how you carry that out. If I'm a battered woman and I've got little tiny children and no assets and no access to any of the assets that we have as a husband and wife, how am I helped?
Well, the first thing that we want people to know is that all of our services are free of cost. The only thing that we charge for is our batterers intervention program, and that's a court-appointed program where the batterers have to come in and learn about their abusive behavior. Other than that, everything...
And anger management and all these things.
Exactly, exactly. Everything for the victim, though, is absolutely free, and all they have to do is give us a call, and we will get them in as soon as possible to talk about, you know, see if they want to do counseling, see if they need shelter. The first thing, though, is we talk about safety. And when that person calls, we ask them, are they safe? Because that is the most important thing to us. And then developing a plan with them to get to safety.
Okay, but what if it was someone from Rankin and they called and they didn't have a way to get here to a safe place?
Well, what we ask them to do is we ask them to go to the police station in that town, wherever they are, and wait for us. And we have an advocate who will travel in our 15-county area to go pick up somebody should they need that. If they're out of
children.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely, the children, absolutely. So, and like I said, if they're outside of our service area, we'll direct them to go to the nearest police station.
And
we'll
you'll tell them what to bring, and then you'll bring them here, and you have a shelter that is safe, and none of them can, the abusers can't access it.
That's correct. It's very safe. We have state-of-the-art technology for as far as security systems go, and it's just very, very private and locked down. We have a set of stringent rules about coming and going as well, just to make sure everything's
so
safe.
then, once I'm there and my children are there and we're safe, then you begin working with us to understand what's happening.
Exactly, and there's so much to it that people don't always think about. You know, a lot of times, as you mentioned, women are coming, they have no financial means, they have maybe no car, they have nothing because their abusers have kept them locked down and not able to do anything or have anything.
But many of them don't understand how they got into that situation, and they blame themselves. So you almost have to do a complete reorientation for them.
Absolutely. We have counseling is a big part of our program, and we have everyone that comes go to counseling. We have group counseling, we have individual counseling, but that's a big part of it, is just helping them understand that abuse is not okay, that they do not deserve it, because sometimes they've been so beaten down that they feel that they deserve that or something, and nobody deserves to be abused.
And sometimes I have to say it's the men that are being abused.
There are men that are being abused, and that's actually something a lot of people don't talk about. When you talk about family
I think
violence,
there's even more stigma on that.
There is because, you know, men don't want to feel or assume to be weak in any way. But we help everyone, man, woman, child. If you're in an abusive situation, we're there to help.
Okay, great. We're going to have to take a break. Oh my goodness, this is such valuable information, and we've got a lot more for you. So stay tuned. We'll be back in just a second.
Stay tuned. West Texas View will be right back.